What's going on, guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video and the next episode in my weapon workshop tutorial series. This is the series where I go over absolutely everything you could possibly want to know about a given weapon, right from the basic moves available to you all the way up to the main most efficient combos you should be using and some overarching weapon theory. If you guys missed last week's episode, then I went over how to use the lance, and over the course of the next few weeks I'll be putting together the remaining guides to cover each of the 14 weapons in Monster Hunter World, and today we're continuing that by turning our attention to the dual blades. Dual blades are one of Monster Hunter's fast attacking weapon types. Rapid combos, lightning fast dashes, and a badass mode that allows you to dish out incredible damage whilst also running around like a character straight out of Naruto. I mean, what's not to like? Much like the sword and shield, while the damage on a per hit basis is lower than some of the bigger, heavy hitting weapons, the damage with the dual blades comes from quick, successive attacks. As one of the fastest attacking weapon types available, the dual blades are capable of dishing out high burst damage, whilst also using those fast combos to really take advantage of a monster's elemental weakness or apply an abnormal status effect incredibly quickly. So, if speed and style is your thing, then the dual blades might just be what you're looking for. Now, before we dive into the moves, there's a couple of things you need to understand first. The dual blades essentially have three different modes to work with. There's your default mode, the way you begin the fight. Then there's demon mode, which is where you'll be doing most of your damage. And finally, there's archdemon mode, which is sort of like a halfway house between normal and demon, and is where you'll be in between your demon rotations. Demon mode can be activated at any point, and whilst in this mode, you move and attack faster, have access to new and more powerful moves and combos, and any attacks you perform whilst in this mode will fill your demon meter, located at the top of the screen. Once the meter is full, if you exit demon mode, either manually or by running out of stamina, you'll then find yourself in archdemon mode. In this mode, you have access to some of the moves from demon mode and some of the base moves, plus you gain the movement and attack speed bonus on top. Any of the quote-unquote borrowed moves will see this demon meter deplete, plus it naturally depletes over time, and once it runs out, you'll revert to the normal state. So as you'll learn very quickly, good use of this weapon will see you dipping into demon mode to dish out the damage when you have an opening, and also to build demon meter, and then dropping out of it to take advantage of the attacks in archdemon mode whilst your stamina is refilling. In an ideal world, we'd remain in demon mode all the time, but since dash juice doesn't work like it used to in previous games, then that simply isn't possible. So good use of this weapon requires a balance of these two states. Now, with all of that covered, let's go over the moves. Starting off with your basic attacks, pressing triangle 3 times consecutively will perform your basic triangle combo. Double slash return stroke, and then circle slash. It hits a total of 6 times, and at any point during the combo you can press X to roll out should you need to. Pressing circle twice then performs the lunging strike, followed by the left round slash by default. However, if you push right on the left stick alongside the second circle input, you can change that left round slash to a right round slash, and given that this move attacks diagonally upwards, there's value in being able to alter the direction based on where your target may be positioned. Additionally, with your weapon sheath, pressing forward and triangle will also see you draw directly into that first lunging strike. You can of course link both of these combos together with 3 triangle inputs followed by 2 circle inputs, and the circle combo then essentially acts as a reset for the triangle combo, allowing you to go straight back into it right after. Additionally, if you drop the second circle input and just press triangle, you'll instead perform the rising slash. You can also perform this same rising slash off the back of a roll, and from there you can then dive back into the full triangle combo, or press circle for the final round slash. Additionally, there's a couple of extra moves that the game doesn't tell you about. Much like the sword and shield spiral thrust, the dual blades also have a move that lets you make positional adjustments mid-combo without interrupting the flow. Following a triangle attack, if you pull back and press circle, you'll perform the turn slash. This will see you jump and slice backwards, after which you can then press triangle for a rising slash or circle for the round slash, and then continue your combo from there. So this is a great move for keeping the combos going, while simultaneously allowing you to adjust the direction that you're facing in the event the monster moves. Additionally, for the times that you instead want to switch the direction you're facing to the left or right as opposed to 180 degrees, then following a triangle attack you can instead press left or right with circle to perform the lunging strike in either of those directions. It is however worth mentioning that those two moves can only be used when in regular mode. If you're in either demon or archdemon mode, then your circle inputs will instead result in different moves. So let's move on to that. Pressing R2 will then see you enter demon mode, and pressing it again will allow you to exit demon mode. In this mode, you glow red, flip your blades backwards, run like a ninja straight out of Naruto, and your stamina begins to deplete. You'll attack faster in demon mode, you have access to some new moves, and any attacks you do land will also build the demon meter. Ultimately, this is the mode that you want to be in as much as possible, since it's where the bulk of your damage will come from. However, given the stamina requirement, it's not something you can maintain forever. Note that you can dip into and out of demon mode mid-combo, so try to keep an eye on your stamina, since the last thing you want to do is be forced out of demon mode when you run out of stamina, and then find yourself unable to roll out of an incoming attack. Once your demon meter fills from your attacks, you'll have access to Archdemon mode, but we'll speak about that shortly. Let's first cover the new moves that you now have access to in this mode. Also, you can draw directly into demon mode with your weapon sheath simply by pressing R2. So, now that you're in demon mode, that default triangle combo looks a little different. It's now Demon Fangs, 2-fold Demon Slash, 6-fold Demon Slash. This does more damage, it's faster, and will ultimately end up being an opener for your big damage move. However, something else you can do, instead of simply inputting the third triangle hit, if you push left or right and then press triangle after the first 2 hits, you perform the left or right fade slash, after which you can loop back into the triangle combo again. This allows you to slightly reposition mid-combo without having to stop attacking, and also, something else cool about this is that you can actually use this to remain in demon mode indefinitely, even when you're out of stamina. In truth, I don't really advise this, since the moment that you stop, if you suddenly need to evade roll, then you're all out of luck. But if, for example, you were attacking a monster with a large surface area and you wanted to take advantage of a nice big opening for damage, then you could use this advantage as a means to keep attacking. Moving on from there, your circle combo is also different in demon mode and now has a third hit in the sequence too. Your first hit is the Demon Flurry Rush, or the Beyblade attack as I often like to call it, and you then follow that with a left round slash and the left double round slash. Again, since this attack's a little upwards, it can be good for hitting a monster's head. Also, while left is the default direction, you can again input right during the second hit to switch the direction to right round slashes. So depending on where you want to attack, you might want to use this to your advantage. Your dodge, whilst in demon mode, instead becomes this incredibly awesome dash. You can chain multiple dashes together to quickly get out of danger or reposition, but keep in mind that the dashes do consume a good chunk of stamina, and since stamina is also your demon mode resource, you want to use this sparingly. And much like before, you can also dash out mid-combo should you need to. Then finally, the last and arguably most important move in your arsenal, the Blade Dance, or Demon Dance as it's often known. Pressing triangle plus circle together whilst in demon mode will begin this fast and damaging combo. It hits multiple times and will form a core part of your damage rotations, but keep in mind that while pretty much every other move or combo in your arsenal can be evaded out of, this one move can't. When you begin it, there is no cancelling it until it's done. So if you just so happen to begin it at the wrong time, and the monster is coming to attack you, yeah, you're about to have a bad day. With that in mind, it's definitely a move that you want to use sensibly. It is something you want to use wherever possible, but also don't just spam it every time you have even the slightest of openings, because if you read a situation wrong and end up missing or getting hit in the process, then it's really not worth it. That's where the triangle combo and the fade slashes come in. Use those for quick damage in limited windows, and then the second you know you're able to commit, you can work the Demon Dance into your combo. Also, given the speed that this attacks, it's also a great option for piling in both elemental damage and abnormal statuses too, so Para, Poison, Sleep, or even Blast. Now finally, moving on to the third component of the weapon, Archdemon mode. As a reminder, any attack you perform whilst in demon mode will build up your demon meter. Keep in mind that while the Demon Dance is good for damage, it's not the best move at building meter, so try to take advantage of your triangle and circle combos to build meter and reposition, then swap to Demon Dance for damage. In fact, your full triangle combo is one of the best moves for building meter. The full combo will almost completely fill the meter, so keep this in mind at all times. However, with your meter maxed, if you exit demon mode, you're now in Archdemon mode. Notice how your blades still glow red, but you're holding them in the default stance. This meter will drain over time, and will also drain when you use certain moves that are quote-unquote borrowed from demon mode. See, Archdemon mode is sort of like a halfway house between normal mode and demon mode. It gives you access to some of the demon mode moves, but not all of them. Your triangle combos remain the same, however your circle combo is now the Demon Flurry Rush, the Beyblade move, followed by the left round slash, which could also be right if you input the right direction. However, unlike demon mode, there isn't the third and final hit. And in addition to that, you can also press triangle plus circle for the Demon Flurry. This is like a baby version of the Demon Dance. It still does decent damage and similarly keeps you locked in place, but obviously isn't as potent as the full thing. And any of these borrowed moves will deplete the demon meter. Now, good use of this weapon will see you maintaining a maxed out demon meter for the majority of the fight, and you'll then ideally dip into demon mode as much as possible when it comes to damage, and drop out of it to allow your stamina to replenish. Since the archdemon mode gives you the cool and very useful Beyblade circle attack, this is a great move for closing the gap on the monster or maintaining pressure, and provided you dip in and out of demon mode frequently, it's very easy to keep this meter topped up. Now finally, let's talk about aerial moves, since there are some really cool options here. First up, the default stuff, sliding down a hill and pressing triangle will see you go into a mid-air spinning blade dance and then the spinning blade dance finisher. However, if you're in demon mode and you press circle whilst going down a slope, you'll initiate the sliding slash, after which you can then press triangle for the mid-air spinning blade dance and then into the finisher. However, something else cool about this mid-air spinning blade dance whilst in demon mode is that if it connects with the monster, you can do something like this. However, that doesn't just work off a slope. If you're in demon mode and you press X to jump off a ledge, you'll then go into the same move, so once again, if it connects with the monster, it can be used to trigger that insane spin attack. And also, if you press X to dash into a runnable surface, one of those walls, then again, you'll run off and go into that same move once again. So down a slope, off a ledge, or off a wall, there are different ways to trigger this. And of course, as you saw from the clips, if you do it on massive monsters like Xeno'jiiva or Kulftaroth, then you can really make it go a long way, and it's just incredibly satisfying to land. Of course, you can also jump off a ledge and simply press triangle, or do the same off a wall, but now that you know about the Beyblade move, those aren't really that exciting anymore. So, with all of the moves covered, how do we tie it all together? What combos should you be using to do the most damage? Well, as mentioned, demon mode will ultimately be your main focus whilst dealing damage. While you can't be in it all the time, if you're using the weapon correctly, then it should ideally be available most of the times you want to use it. So, the full triangle combo directly into the demon dance is great. The first portion of the combo is a great meter builder, and it's also more hits in the combo. Meanwhile, the demon dance is your finisher. Note that you can't really combo from the demon dance into anything, so it's nice to try and work the triangle attacks in at the beginning instead of simply spamming demon dance back to back, given the downtime. Additionally, should you want a little bit more movement in your combo, then you can work the first two circle hits in at the beginning. The triangle combo flows nicely after the second hit. Meanwhile, if you land the third hit, there's a momentary pause before you can follow up, so I personally prefer this. Also, don't forget the endless combo that takes advantage of the left and right fade /2. As mentioned, it's not something I typically use since I don't like running on empty, but in select situations, for example in a fight against Kulftaroth, if you have a big window on, say, the tail, then being able to keep attacking in this mode for a while longer does have its uses. Also keep in mind that when you do decide to end it, you can sneak a demon dance in at the end, even without stamina. And of course, outside of that, whilst in Archdemon mode, you still have your full triangle combo into the Demon Flurry. While obviously not the same damage as the Demon mode combo, if you're waiting for your stamina to replenish, then this is still an option. And again, working the circle attacks in at the beginning for more hits, and ground coverage is again an option. Now, to round things out, let's very quickly go over some handy armor skills you might want to consider when using this weapon. As always, your typical attack focus skills like attack boost, weakness exploit, critical eye, critical boost, agitator, or even peak performance, those will have value with this weapon. I dropped maximum might in this one since you'll often be using stamina, so that one doesn't have quite as much value. On top of that, since fast attacking weapons like dual blades or sword and shield can really take advantage of a monster's elemental weakness, then slotting in the relevant element attack skills to bolster your element provides incredible value. And the same can be said for abnormal statuses too. If you instead want to focus on paralysis, sleep, poison or blast, then slotting those in will go nicely with this weapon. Of course, if you do intend to lean into element or status, then the set bonus from Rathalos or Zora are also useful, critical element or status crit. In addition to that, since dual blades are so stamina intensive, Marathon Runner is a very handy skill to slow down the rate at which your stamina depletes. Handicraft is a nice skill if you want to push your weapon into white sharpness. Protective Polish, of course, to help maintain that sharpness for longer. And of course, Razor Sharp, the Xeno'jiiva set bonus if you want to slow down the rate at which you lose sharpness. And dual blades do go through it relatively fast, given the speed that they attack. Focus can also be used to speed up the rate at which you fill your demon meter. And finally, Power Prolonger can extend the duration of your demon meter, but since it's so easy and quick to build back up, I don't honestly feel like I need this skill that much. But either way, those are a few options to consider. Now, finally, as always, to round out the tutorial, we're going to dive into a complete hunt in the arena to show the weapon being used in combat and try and tie it all together and make sense of everything we've just covered. For this one, we're going to be taking on Black Diablos, and I'm running with my new Paralysis dual blades that I picked up from the Kulftaroth Siege this past week. To begin with, as always, I'm going to kick it off with a mount. It's an easy opening and it will give me a nice opportunity for damage, plus it's a chance to show off the mount attack for the dual blades, which actually looks pretty cool. With Diablos down, I'm going to dive straight into demon mode and then begin my combo on the head. Admittedly, I'm not in the best place right now, pinned in the corner, but I can reach the head, so this'll do. Shortly after that, the paralysis procs, so again, I can simply remain where I am and dip into the core combo. Remember that there's no direct follow-up from a demon dance, there's a momentary delay before you can do anything again, but I always like to begin with the triangle combo, partly because it's a good way to keep my demon meter topped up, and partly because if I need to move around slightly, I can work fade slashes into that combo. Either way, with Diablos out of paralysis, I'm now going to focus on the legs, typical strategy for fast attacking weapons or weapons that struggle to reach high areas. If I attack the legs enough, sooner or later she's going to trip. Now, I did bring Screaming Pods with me, so I'm going to take advantage of Diablos digging to give me yet more free openings. Anytime I have an opening, the combo will be pretty much the same. However, if I need to travel any significant distance to get into attack, I'll usually do so with the Beyblade attack. That's the circle attack. It covers good ground, attacks along the way, and I can combo straight from it, so it's a good way to open. Moving forward a little bit, my cat puts Diablos to sleep, and since my wake up hits aren't especially strong, I'm going to drop bombs and detonate them for the wake up. Now, soon after that, I get my first trip that I've been working towards, so this gives me a couple of nice options. In this instance, I'm going to go for the tail. We won't get the cut just yet, but I'm able to put some good damage on it, so it's likely pretty close at this point. Now, just after that, I did something pretty stupid. I should have dropped out of demon mode to let my stamina recover, which would have allowed me to evade out of the way, but instead, I took a couple of hits. But again, this stuff happens. Hunts don't always go the way you plan, so just pick yourself up and get back in the fight. Again, another Screaming Pod opening gives me a nice opportunity for damage, and I'm able to get my second paralysis proc while she's half underground, so it's nice access to the head. Now if we fast forward a little bit more, I was messing around a bit trying to pull off the cool Beyblade wall run attack, but she wasn't having it, so instead my cat put her to sleep, and I'm going to use this wall for that very purpose. To be clear, this is not a good wake up tactic, but I'm hunting solo, and I really want to do this move, so bear with me. Soon after that, I'm able to get my next trip, so I'm going to dive back in on the tail and finish that off, getting the cut, and then very soon after that, that is the end of the fight. So that, my friends, is pretty much it. That's my tutorial of the dual blades. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to keep it locked. We've got 2 more tutorials to go, and the next one should be next weekend, so stay tuned. But until then, thank you very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.